Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, where the landscape is filled with tributes to American history and culture. Tonight, skaters from around the globe are here for the World Championships, the most important annual event in skating. In pairs, Shui Shen and Hongbo Zhao won China's first pairs world title last season. Their dominance continued through much of this season until their first meeting with Tatiana Topmianina and Maxime Marinin, Russia's top duo. While the American champs Scott and Dulabon look for their best finish to date. For the men, with the absence of the injured Alexei Yangudin, there'll be a new champion crowned. The overwhelming favorite is Yevgeny Plushenko, the 20-year-old who became the second youngest men's gold medalist in 2001 and has rolled over the competition all season long. Should he stumble, Michael Weiss is ready after winning his third U.S. title. He's trying to become the first man to win an American and World Championship in the same season since Brian Boitano in '88. So too for Timothy Gable, the Olympic bronze medalist, who is now injury-free. And Japan's Takeshi Honda hopes to improve on last year's world bronze medal. The pairs and the men skate at the 2003 World Figure Skating Championships right now.
For the first time ever, the World Championships are being held here in the nation's capital. It's the 11th time they're being held here in the U.S., and just a brilliant look at the U.S. Capitol building all lit up on what is a gorgeous evening here in Washington, D.C. And less than a mile from the Capitol building, we welcome you inside the MCI Center, normally home to the Wizards and the Capitals, but this week it's the best skaters in the sport who have gathered here to skate for the titles at the 2003 World Figure Skating Championships. Hi, everybody. I'm Terry Gannon. We're thrilled to have you along as we kick off our coverage here in Washington, D.C. Before the week is out, we'll have 9 hours for you from the MCI Center here on ESPN2, over on ESPN, and on ABC Sports. Initially, there were some concerns about holding a major international competition in this city at this time. However, I can tell you that there are skaters here from 41 different countries from around the globe, and not one skater has withdrawn because of the events so far in Iraq. Tonight it's the men's short program along with the pairs short program, and the pairs get things underway. We turn our attention to the Olympic silver medalist, Mr. Peter Carruthers. And Peter, it was a given all season long. The reigning champ, Shui Shen and Hongbo Zhao from China, were going to win her second title, repeater at the World Championships. Not so fast, my friend.
And it's actually been tough here for the World Championships in Washington. A couple of days ago, Shen had a bad fall on practice on a throw quadruple Salchow attempt. Now, she sprained her ankle when she did that. Yesterday in practice, they weren't able to perform any of the difficult skills that we've seen them do. And it looked like they might even withdraw. But today was a different story. Early in the morning, Shen received a numbing agent injection into her right ankle, and they were able to go out and practice very well. I talked to their coach, Yao Bin, and the plan is to have another shot right before the short program. But Terry, as you know, the throws that they do, she's about 4 feet in the air. Coming down on that ice, there's a lot of impact.
And if you take away their power, that's a major part of their game plan, so we'll have to wait and see. The American champions are here, Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon. They recently won their first U.S. title in Dallas. They're hoping for their best finish ever at the World Championships, but they're not the story as we turn to the Olympic champ, Peggy Fleming. The story is the matchup between the Chinese that Peter talked about and the Russians, Topmianina and Marinin, and they have been on a roll.
They really have. Topmianina and Marinin come into this World Championship after the best season of their lives. Then last month, they beat Shen and Zhao at the Grand Prix final in Russia. And because of that, their coach Oleg Vasilyev says they've broken through a new level in their skating. Their confidence here in the practices has been obvious, and the role they've been on all season may take them to their very first world title.
It promises to be a heck of a matchup between the Russians and the Chinese. The short program, of course, is where you can lose the title. There are 8 required elements. If you make a mistake or leave one of these out, there are deductions. And as always for the pairs, the side-by-side jumps are critical.
So we're set to go. The pairs short program, 2 minutes, 40 seconds in length, worth 1/3 of the overall score. It's the only discipline here at the World Championships where there's not a compulsory round or a qualifying round.
And on the ice, from Poland, Dorota Zagorska and Mariusz Swiatek. The 99 world bronze medalist. They haven't been close to that, though, since.
A very strong pair team. He stands at 6'2", she's 5'1", so you can just imagine how good these lifts are. They have very difficult changes of position throughout the lifts.
They're opening with the difficult side-by-side triple toe loops. Very nicely done.
She had to fight for that. You see how low she was on the knee, and that takes a lot of energy to spring up off of that low knee. Notice how these spins are moving around. You should stay in the same spot that you start in, and those spins travel.
Watch this double twist. Watch her hands go over her head. Very nice, very difficult to do that. It holds the rotation down. It makes it more difficult.
They are a married couple. They've been together on the ice since 1994, and they've skated better this year, but they're just not held in the same high esteem they used to be by the judges. At the Grand Prix final, for example, they made small errors, but they finished 5th out of 6 teams.
Well, I think the weakness of this pair are the individual moves, the moves in between the difficult elements. They need to stretch more. They need to connect with the music and the choreography more and relate to the audience. But they're very strong individual skaters and very interesting lifts that they do.
They begin one hand pressing her right up. Look at that. That's the strength I'm talking about within the lifts. 6'2", she's 5'1", and they really dazzle with that.
Very nice finish with that forward inside death spiral.
But you're absolutely right, Peggy. They needed to sustain that through the whole performance. It's almost as though the last part was where the highlight was.
Got the crowd going, too, at the end, the last lift. Too bad it came at the end and not earlier.
But that's good. You leave a good impression like that at the end. That's the last thing the judges get to see.
The 7-time Polish national champions, Dorota Zagorska and Mariusz Swiatek.
You don't want to be too far away from your partner on the side-by-side solo jumps, and you want to have good unison and the same height in the air. They do well there. That was a good start for them. Throw triple loop, takes off of a backward outside edge, and look how low on her knee she was. She had to fight for that. Takes more energy.
Here's a look at the panel of judges, and there are 14 of them, but only 9 of their marks actually count. Remember, this is the interim international system in which the judges remain anonymous, and boy, hasn't this been the center of controversy. In fact, at least in part because of it, there is a group that has announced here in Washington, D.C. that they are breaking away from the ISU. In fact, they hope to put the ISU out of the figure skating business. There's the longtime U.S. referee Ron Fenning. He is the acting president of this new federation, which wants to become the governing body of figure skating and restore some of the integrity to the sport. It's an evolving story. We'll have much more on it a little bit later in the show and more later tonight on ABC Sports. And there's a new technology-based system that will be tested out next year, but even that has been surrounded by controversy. So we'll see. There'll be 2 sets of marks here, though, in the short program. Required elements and presentation. The first set, 5.4 to 5.6. The marks listed in ascending order.
Good set of required element scores.
Second set now for presentation, and 5.3 up to 5.6. Zagorska and Siudek have to be happy with that. When we come back, the team with the most momentum coming into these World Championships from Russia, Tatiana Topmianina and Maxime Marinin, they realize they may never have a better chance than right now to win a world title.
Yeah, the situation is so with every single competition starting from the same point. You came off from the podium and everything starting again. But I think we can repeat our success, and I hope that we gonna skate well and show in the World Championship our best result.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2003 World Figure Skating Championships is brought to you by Chevy. The cars you can depend on, the cars that last, will be there. And 2, switch over to ABC Sports at 9 Eastern. We'll have the pairs free skate and live coverage of the men's free skate. See if China's Shuai Shen and Hongbo Zhao can defend their pairs title, and see if Yevgeny Plushenko can win the men's championship. The men and the pairs tonight at 9 Eastern on ABC Sports.
Well, they're in the front row. Octavio Cinquanta, the president of the ISU, the International Skating Union. And right behind him, Phyllis Howard, who's the president of the U.S. FSA, the U.S. Figure Skating Association. And she was very critical of the present interim judging system recently. But tonight they seem to be getting along just fine watching the pair short program. So the powers that be are here in the seat of power, Washington, D.C. Currently here in the pair short program, Zagorska and Siudek have the lead. But on the ice right now from Russia, Tatiana Topmianina and Maxime Marinin, at least the co-favorites here in D.C. They are undefeated this season, and they recently beat Shen and Zhao at the Grand Prix final.
There's a nice steadiness to their skating.
And they're very smooth. So important.
Nice flowing moves, these spiral sequence. One move flows into the other. Nice long extension. This throw triple loop, back outside edge takeoff. Very nice, tight in the air, calm, steady landing.
You can see that right knee of Tatiana is heavily taped. She injured it this past summer during the off-season when she slid into the boards, and it's not completely healthy yet.
And beautiful side-by-side triple toe loops, great unison, beautiful landing positions.
Watch the spins. Usually they have really nice unison, equal rotation, and the positions throughout are stretched out and very pleasing to look at.
She is from Perm, Russia. Maxime is from Volgograd. But they both now live and train in Chicago.
Beautiful stroking. Just those crossovers right there as they approach the split double twist lift. They exit that with the same speed that they came in with it, and that's so important.
And now this final move, this forward death spiral. Which takes a long time getting into this position. Beautiful performance.
Smooth and well executed. To have that kind of power and be that smooth and elegant with all of these required elements, they have done very well. Nice performance.
Many people standing here in the crowd Last time they lost was at the 2002 Worlds, and that was to Shen and Zhao. The Chinese still to come, but this will be tough to top. Totmianina and Marinin of Russia.
They're very settled with their skating. They don't make unnecessary movement throughout. They do exactly what they need to keep a nice, smooth, even pace throughout this performance. And that was very evident there on that throw triple loop. The split double twist lift. The judges really pay attention to the landing, and there's no collision there. And that exits with the same speed that they came in with. Very nice.
In the kiss and cry area with their coach, Oleg Vasiliev, right there on the right side of the screen. You know him, Peter, at all?
Slightly.
Yeah.
Remember him too well with his partner, Elena Volova.
84 Olympic champs. Just edging out Peter Carruthers and his sister, Kitty. First set for required elements, 5-7, 5-8. Not bad.
Well, these are well-deserved. It was a very solid performance, and they were clean. No problem.
Presentation marks now, and those are even better, Peggy.
Well, and that steady confidence really showed, and they really sold this program so well.
All ones across the board for Totmianina and Marinin. When we come back, the American champions get their turn. Tiffany Scott and her partner, Philip Dulabon. He is from suburban Washington, from Germantown, Maryland. One of the reasons that they have focused on this event for a very long time.
Well, it means a lot. It's getting here at home. I'm so close in with all my friends and family here. And Tiffany, I've done a lot of hard work to prepare for this competition. And it's just really nice to share it with, my close friends and family. They can actually be here to watch the competition.
And Marinin, one of the co-favorites, but on the ice right now, Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon, the 2003 U.S. champions.
This will be a mental hurdle if they can get through these side-by-side triple toe loops, and he steps out of his. That starts things off on the wrong foot.
You could see the grimace on his face as soon as he did that.
Yeah, and it was a mistake you didn't need to make. You check out of the jump by throwing the arms out and stopping the rotation.
Throw triple Salchow that's back inside edge takeoff as he lifts her up very tight in the air. Good for them.
They enjoyed their best finish at the World Championships last season, a 7th place finish. And remember, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman came in 3rd last year. So because of those 2 placements, the U.S. able to send 3 pairs to this year's Worlds. But they were not impressive in winning their first U.S. title this season in Dallas. They had 2 major falls in their free skate, and they were just kind of the last team standing.
Getting a lot of encouragement from our crowd here.
Oops, missed it there. The leg drooped down, showing they were off balance a little bit. Work on making those extensions, the legs straighter and higher in the air.
Now this final move, this forward inside death spiral. Nice position.
That mistake's going to be a problem. 2/10 off the score on the required elements. Him stepping out of the triple toe.
They will hope that the crowd carries a lot of weight with the judges. Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon, the U.S. champs.
She gets through the triple toe loop with no problem, but it's him who has the problem. He doesn't get the arms out to stop the rotation and just has a sloppy exit right there, and definitely the judges will catch that.
Now in the kitchen cry, whoever threw that on the ice has a pretty strong arm. That thing's big.
It is.
Now the first set for required elements. And 4.5, the low mark, up to 5.3.
Ooh. Gotta make those spins stronger, have better positions throughout.
Had wide ranges.
And Terry, also the base of the skating, the way they move across the ice, how far down on their knees they are, not up to the level of the Russians.
Presentation marks now 4.8 up to 5.5 for Tiffany Scott and Philip Dulabon. They won't be happy with their placements. They're in 8th overall. When we come back, the team trying to win for the second straight year at the World Championships. From China, Shui Shen and Hangbo Zhao take the ice as the 2003 World Figure Skating Championship original dance, followed by the ladies short program. Then, in prime time, on ABC Sports starting at 8 Eastern, skating continues with the free dance and our live coverage of the ladies free skate. Can the Americans sweep for the ladies? Kwan, Hughes, Cohen, all there for the ice dancers. The Americans, Langen, Chernishev, Belbin, and Augusto are here in D.C. Tune in Saturday to see who'll be the world champions of 2003. ESPN and ABC Sports, your exclusive networks of the 2003 World Figure Skating Championships. We talked about Bin Yao being the coach of the top teams in pairs from China. He was the first male Chinese pair skater, one of the pioneers when China emerged onto the international scene just a little more than 20 years ago. But today, his impact as a coach may be even greater.
Bin Yao has worked with us painstakingly, exerting himself as our mentor and teaching us to skate.
Yao attests that in order for Chinese figure skating to develop, he must observe the programs of stronger countries and implement what he learns into his own athletes' training. In turn, he demands hard work and dedication from his students.
I would tell them that if they want to be a part of the world elite, they must be able to withstand obstacles that the average person would not be able to.
If things were to be really easy without much to do, then I feel like it would have little meaning. When we are competing a lot, some things are tiring. I think when there's tension or competition, this gives life greater meaning.
For Shen and Zhao, the hard work has paid off. They have stood on the podium at every World Championship since 1999, winning it all last year. The other two Chinese pairs, Pang and Tong and Zhang and Zhang, are not far behind, placing 5th and 9th respectively at Worlds. It's the presence of each other, they say, that has helped raise their skating to such a high level.
There is both unity and competition in their relationship. In training, this competition encourages them to learn from each other.
We have strong leaders in Shen and Zhao. Whenever we are practicing, we always look to learn from them.
With the pair's newfound success, the future of figure skating in China is awfully bright. There are now champion role models that young skaters can look to. And for Coach Bin Yao, it's a long way from last place.
With years of hard work, experience, and practice, we have reached the level that I have dreamed of.
They represent China. Ladies and gentlemen, Shui Shen and Hangbo Zhao.
It has been amazing to watch what the Chinese have been able to do in pair skating over the past several years. And they won their first world title last season in Nagano. This is the team that did it, trying to win for the second straight season. Shui Shen and Hangbo Zhao. You see that right knee, though, wrapped, taped. She is injured. As Peter said earlier, Saturday in practice, she fell on the quad throw, injured her knee and her ankle, and she couldn't practice the next day. Today, a little bit on the ice, and we'll see how it goes.
That is her landing foot, and it may impact this first move they do, this side-by-side triple toe loops. But it didn't. It looked very solid, very strong.
watch out for this throw triple loop. She really gets up in the air, and there's no indication whatsoever that she's in any kind of pain. Great determination. Oh, there's problems with the spins. They have struggled with these spins. Falling off, that is a major disruption for them.
And here is another highlight of their program, this split, almost delay, double twist. What they've really improved on this season is their presentation. There's so much more dramatic expression in their skating. They finish things off so well.
Terrific season until that Grand Prix final when they lost to Tomianina and Marinin, who have the lead here right now. They were undefeated.
This final pair combination spin. Very slow in the transitions.
Well, they've had a very long season, a lot of competitions, but 2 to 3/10 of a point for that disruption in the side-by-side spins. But besides that, they were flawless, and I just love their energy that they have. They really pushed the envelope with their athleticism.
They did fight through this, no doubt about it. Their 9th appearance at the World Championships. We'll see what the judges do now. Shui Shen and Hongbo Zhao, the reigning champs.
The key to this working is the fact that she stays very straight in the air, perpendicular, and she really knows her body so well. 3 easy rotations. No problem there whatsoever. The Chevy Stroh Motion points out the height that she gets on this, and look how even her rotation is, how perpendicular in the air she is, and that strong exit, a very sure landing. Success. This is where the problem took place. She was okay in the spin, but he loses it, and all of a sudden, when you see this out of the corner of your eye, as a partner, you can't believe it's happening, but she maintains, no problem, 2 to 3/10.
The marks for required elements.
Now we'll see if the judges actually do take off the mandatory deduction, as they should. The first set for required elements, that's where they pay the price. 5.4 up to 5.7, and not even close to those of the Russians.
And that's indicative of what happened in that spin.
And now the second set, Peggy, for presentation.
Oh, but this is where they have made such an improvement and very well-deserved marks.
But those aren't as high as the Russians either. So Shui Shen and Hongbo Zhao into second place behind Tomianina and Marinin. World Figure Skating Championships here in Washington. Right now it's Tomianina and Marinin ahead of Shen and Zhao of China. On the ice, though, the 2003 U.S. bronze medalists, Rena Inoue and John Baldwin Jr. in their first trip together to the World Championships.
Has a nice attack and good energy to their programs.
You may know their story by now. Rena Inoue is from
Japan. She was originally from Tokyo and competed for that country in the Olympics and the World Championships in pairs and in singles skating. And John Baldwin is a longtime veteran in the singles ranks at the U.S. National Championships, but now is trying his hand at pair skating.
They're really going after it. Their coach, Jill Watson, told me that they're really good about doing their run-throughs in practice. That is going from top to bottom so that you know when you get into competition, you have the stamina to get through, and it's very evident here.
They certainly do.
Yeah.
Well, they give it a lot of energy, and they really sell to this crowd.
Last move, the death spiral. He wants to hit a nice pivot. Be down low on that knee. I give him a lot of credit for being so strong in this short program. They didn't hold back at all, and it showed.
Their debut at the World Championships as a team. Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, a little standing ovation even.
Yeah, plenty of American flags here in the MCI Center too for Rena Inoue and John Baldwin Jr.
And here's a nice look at the throw, triple Salchow, that back inside edge takeoff. She doesn't get a whole lot of height, but she gets a lot of distance. A little struggle on the landing, but it is landed smooth.
The marks for required elements.
Their third season together. Now they await the marks. Should be pretty good ones, don't you think? That was,
with the exception of that double that he did
on the side-by-side triples, yes.
Triples, so
4-3 up to 5-6 for the first set.
It's okay.
And that is the widest range we've seen. 4-3 to 5-6. Now the second set for presentation. How about this? 4-7 up to 5-9. Wow. Inoue and Baldwin ahead of the U.S. champs, their counterparts right now. They're in 9th place overall. NASDAQ 100 Open. Join Cliff Drysdale, Mary Jo Fernandez, and Patrick McEnroe in Key Biscayne, Florida, as they bring you quarterfinal action of the men and the ladies. The NASDAQ 100 Open, next on ESPN2. Taking the ice right now from Russia, Yulia Obertas and Alexei Sokolov, the 2003 Russian bronze medalist. Their counterparts, Tomjanina and Marinin in the lead over Shen and Zhao of China and Zagorska and Siudek of Poland.
I like this pair very much. There's a lot of potential. Very soft elegance to them. Beautiful opening side-by-side triple toes.
boy, do they have lovely stroking. That's just the crossovers that they do across the ice. That's the foundation.
Look how they gather this speed, this split double twist.
This is their second season together on the international scene. She is only 18 years of age, from Ukraine. He is 24, from St. Petersburg. Grand Prix final this season, their first trip there, and they came in 4th, which they were thrilled about. And there was some talk when we were in Russia covering that they would be coached next year by Tamara Moskvina.
That would be an excellent addition to their training.
She, of course, coached Berezhnaya and Sikorilidze, the Olympic gold medalist.
So subtle.
Oh, it's great.
Yet so brilliantly executed. Just a joy to watch. She has a gorgeous back. Her carriage and posture. Lovely.
And their speed over the ice is so nice.
Yulia Obertas and Alexei Sokolov from Russia.
The lift that you see here is very difficult to do because her legs go straight up in the air, and then look at the split position that she attains, and they keep this moving very fast across the ice. Hard to do.
The marks for required elements.
Quite a legacy in Russian pair skating. 30 times they have won the World Championship.
Oh my goodness.
Next closest country is Germany with 12. Some great pairs over the years. First set for required elements. There they are, 5-3 up to 5-7.
Very nice scores, and I think that the presentation has got to be rewarded here.
There it is, 5.4, a little bit higher, up to 5.7. So the judges' placements from 3rd down to 8th. It was in 8th place, but Obertas and Sokolov overall into 3rd place. So we are down to the final team when we come back from Russia. It's Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov. They know what it's like to stand on the top step of the podium. They won the gold in 2000 at the World Championship. But set to take the ice, the final team here in the short program. Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov, also from Russia. And they won this title back in 2000. That was their best season together. The 99-2000 year, they won the European title in 99, the world title in 2000, and it's been a bit of a struggle since then.
Absolutely. They haven't really dropped off altogether, but they just haven't come out of the gates very strong, and this is the time to do it right now at the World Championships.
The difficult moves out of the way right from the beginning. They look like they've been taking every element one at a time, very careful.
Nice double twist dismount on that. Very difficult to do, to rotate coming out of a lift like that.
Very calm. Maybe his posture really needs to be a little better, more extension, more presentation.
Well, I thought it was a nicely paced program. It didn't knock my socks off, but...
No. It lacked energy, and I don't think the music really helped.
No.
Didn't have the spark that some of the other programs
Not
had.
at all, but they were solid.
Beware a team that's won this title before, though. They won it in 2000. Maria Petrova and Alexei Tikhonov of Russia.
They wanted to get through the side-by-side triple toe loops because they know they could take a deduction, but they hung on, pulling that experience together. Don't forget, 2000 world champions. The forward inside death spiral, the second to last element in their program. And it's interesting because they take this move right up and then they go into their pair combination spin, and it looks nice, a good way to finish.
So we'll see what the judges do, and who knows tonight, because their marks and their placements have been all over the board, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there is some disagreement in terms of what they were watching and judging it and how well it was skated. First set for required elements, 5.4 to 5.8. And now the second set, same range, 5.4 to 5.8.
Yeah, they didn't make any mistakes.
Petrova and Tikhonov with those placements, seconds, a couple of 2s, 3 of those down to 5, so they end up in third place. But it is Topmianina and Marinin from Russia who are going after the World Championship, trying to stay undefeated, and they have the lead heading to the free skate over Shen and Zhao. So as we check the standings after the short program, the Russians, the Chinese, and the Russians, your top 3. Another team from Russia, Obertas and Sokolov, rounding out the top 4. In terms of the Americans, what a great showing for Inoue and Baldwin. They're in 11th, ahead of the American champs, Scott and Dulabon. And it's Katie Orsher and Garrett Lucas, the other team from the U.S., currently in 14th place. And don't forget, you can watch the pair skate for gold. We'll have our coverage of their free skate starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time over on ABC Sports.